All right. We have just chosen to continue our community after legacying, and this is the same flow as moving maps. It's exactly so. If you just move maps, you're going to get this same flow. Is that's right, isn't it, Chris?
Yep.
And so I still want to stay in the nightmare zone. I think that's what these people are ready for. So we're gonna hit accept there. And now we've got something brand new. We have got a new map selection screen. Do you want to talk us through like what we're trying to
Yeah.
accomplish here, Chris?
Yeah. So this one we wanted to take like update just the visual aesthetic of moving maps, and we felt like this one gave overall like a little bit more information in terms of this is the general tone of the map. So you'll get that quote of what you'll experience there, the list of all the home sites. So if you really wanted to, you could look them up on a wiki or something and just figure out like, oh, this one is one I would love to move to. Or if you've heard anecdotally through friends or whatnot, like, oh, I know people like that base. This says this one's on that map. That one should help. And then also there is the countdown on the bottom, like how many times you've actually been on the map. So if you're like wondering, oh, have I played this map before? Yes or no, that should give you that answer pretty quickly. And then one thing that we really liked internally was just the idea of having a top-down view of the map, so you can kind of get a sense of like, okay, this is how I'll generally be navigating the map.
So because like this community was in Drucker County, you can see that the times this community has visited Drucker County is one. And then it's looking at my other save files and seeing that I've got another community that's currently on
Mm-hmm.
Trumbull Valley. I've got another community that's currently on Providence Ridge. And I only have 3 communities right this second, but I'm allowed to have more now. And so players could actually have communities on this map one on every single one of these maps. Once they've used all 5 of their save slots, which is great. So let's say I don't know, where do we want to go? Let's go to Cascade Hills. It's a classic.
Are we on the map selection screen?
Yeah, we are on the map selection screen.
Did we already go past it?
I've
No.
just selected. How come? What do you want to see, Joe?
Nothing. I just wanted to show off some Easter eggs.
Oh, there's some Easter eggs. Should I back up a little bit?
No, you're fine. You're fine.
You sure? Because we do have some quotes from people. Like I just noticed that we've got I've never been to Spain, not that it matters now, from Patrick, video game producer, who is an actual person on the team. People were asking whether we had Easter eggs, referencing people on the team, and we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's go to Cascade Hills. And what else?
There was one on. Anyway, there's one on. I was going to call it Dan Murray, but that's not right. Providence Ridge and
Yes.
Trumbull Valley.
So this
anyway.
old logging town is one of the finest experiences you'll find this side of the apocalypse. Al the plumber. What are we looking for in particular?
Al the plumber.
Who's Al the plumber?
He knows who he is.
Okay, well, great. We know. Awesome. Let's go to Cascade Hills and have a look at what we can do here. So now my community does not have the most influence in the world, and so my options here are a little bit limited. But check this out. Actually, let me make us go away a little bit for a second. Check out what we can do. We can actually choose one of these bases to land on. Normally, historically, if you moved maps, you had to go to the starter base, which is the Justino house on Cascade Hills. But because I'm coming in with a community that is well developed, we already have some influence, I can actually choose a different place to land. Now, most of these, the ones that are black, Chris, can you confirm for me that I'm right? The ones that are black are the ones that I cannot afford.
Correct. Yeah.
So there's only one alternate one that I can afford, and that is the Bridge Fort. But you can see here, you've given us a breakdown of all of the facilities that are at the Bridge Fort, the open slots, and how much it costs, how many people I need to have in order to settle there. And how are the costs calculated? Is it just the same cost you always pay, or is there more to it than that?
So if it's a base that you've previously occupied with a specific community that you're choosing to continue with, it'll just be the base cost of whatever it would normally cost. If it is a base that you've never occupied, like you're moving to a new map that this community has never been to, you select a non-starter base, there's a certain percentage upcharge for that, but that's dependent on whatever difficulty you're currently on. I don't remember the exact breakdown offhand, but if you're on lethal, that markup is going to be way more than if you're on green. And I think on green, it's either 0% or like 25 or something like that.
I believe that was actually a question that La Coalición asked a little bit earlier in the stream, was whether or not difficulty level was going to impact how expensive moving bases was. So it sounds like the difficulty level is going to make a difference.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. So let's accept. Oh, one thing that I did not see going through this is selecting a boon. We've got a question in the chat asking, because I've just unlocked the Warlord boon in Nightmare for the first time,
Mhm.
can I apply the Warlord boon now to this community as I'm going forward, or do I not have the opportunity to do that right now?
Yeah, so initially that was one of the ideas that we were toying around with at the very beginning of the project, but to limit scope and not turn this into a mega update, even more so than it already is, we decided not to do that. So it's definitely not off the table for future updates down the road, but right now, any boons that you unlock are only applicable to new communities at your start.
All right. Well, I think the Bridge Fort. People have asked me, what is your favorite base in State of Decay 2? And there's lots of different, ways that you can judge bases, and I could probably give different answers. But just emotionally, the Bridge Fort is probably my favorite. So I think this is actually where I want to settle these folks. So let's accept that. And now we're just going to drop into the game, into the Bridge Fort. And so this is a community that I have legacied. But now we're moving into the Bridge Fort, and we're just continuing on. I did not have to pour them all into my legacy pool. So here we are. We just started right here at the top of the Bridge Fort, looking over this beautiful, kind of hazy terrain. But so yeah, this community is now ready to go on Cascade Hills.